Almost 3 years later, the same message rings true. Only now, it's coming from another pioneer in the business, which is none other than Shawn Michaels. Mr. Michaels agrees that The Undertaker, agrees with The Undertaker that wrestling today is soft. Well, they're saying he admits it, but I mean, it's not like he has to. He doesn't have to say that. You can clearly see it today. You see it on a daily basis that these motherfuckers are soft. But we'll get into that later as we knock this article. And I also want to go back to context what Undertaker actually said. You know, we can revisit that. You know, don't pay attention to the background noise in the background. Got some cleaning going on. But let's get into this. All right, let's get into this. Damn, everything is hitting me today, or just lately. Okay, so yeah, Shawn Michaels is undoubtedly one of the best in ring. Well, we don't need to read that. Okay, the Undertaker's controversial comments regarding the current pro wrestlers and the product back in 2021 became a huge topic discussion. He previously said that the WWE superstars of the current era are not real men compared to the wrestlers back in his era, which he was right. The dead man even added that the wrestlers from his era were far tougher, which they are. And even last year, the Undertaker doubled down on his controversial comments, stating that pro wrestlers nowadays lack grit. Bret Hart, keep in mind that Bret Hart, I think Kurt Angle at one point, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, they all said the same thing as well, even after that. While speaking on KNC Masterpiece, Shawn Michaels was asked if he ever had to tell NXT talented some back in my day stories if they complained to him about traveling to Florida. Michaels would admit that the pro wrestling business is softer now, but healthier as well. I would also agree with that too. That for sure, that the business now is healthier. I agree with that. Every now and then, when they complain about much of anything, we give them a little come to Jesus chat, Michael said with a laugh. I'm pretty good about not being the bitter old timer. I screwed up a bunch and tried to show them the error or particular ways. It's a different business. Some of it is for the better. Which I'll add to that. It's a much healthier atmosphere than when it was when I started. There are some who argue that makes them a little softer, said Michaels. I can't disagree with that in some respects, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that it can't be better and can't be shaped up. We have a great culture here, and he goes. Yeah, we have a great culture here that Hunter put in place a decade ago. It's something we continue to build on. And then every now and then we have to remind them of just how great it is to do this line of work, how good it is they have to do it. And obviously getting the opportunity to jump outside the state of Florida and come to the state of Texas is going to be a blast for everybody. And of course, then it goes on into, how articles go. And trying to get back to and that's the end of it right there. But I'm not gonna obviously I'm not gonna go out and blow this way out of for no reason at all. Shawn Michaels just completely emasculated the entire roster. Boo hoo. But he straight up called them soft. He straight up called the whole roster soft. He pretty much said the same thing like the Undertaker said. He just said it in a more, sugarcoating, a more politically correct type of way. And here we are again though. Talking about this. We're in the exact same boat. Talk about the exact same shit. Close to 3 years now. I wouldn't say it got worse, because if you really look at the state of professional wrestling overall, from a professional wrestler's perspective, and y'all see how they conversate on Twitter, how they present themselves in the pro wrestling business as a whole, whether it's kayfabe or shooting style, Yeah, it's been all the same. It's been the same since 2021 when the Undertaker had came out and said that. It's stagnant, but nothing has grown, nothing has increased. Nothing's changed at all. And we can, like I said earlier, we can reflect a little bit back when Undertaker initially started this to begin with. I want to talk a little bit more about that. Yeah, I got it right here. Oh shit. Yeah, I got it right here. Cause I want to go to the exact quote. Okay, yeah, when he was talking with Rogan. Do you enjoy WWE as a fan, or are you too close to it? He said, I try. It's tough right now, but for me, because the product has changed so much, it's kind of soft. Are you going to get in trouble for saying that? That was Rogan. And Undertaker probably, I'll probably piss a lot of people off, but they need to hear it. It is what it is. But to the young guys, oh, he's a bitter old guy. I'm not bitter. I did my time. I'm good. I walked away when I wanted to walk away. I just think the product is a little soft. There's guys here and there that have an edge to them, but there's too much pretty and not enough substance, I think, right now. He said they're trying, and it's always been this way, but they're trying to put something out for everybody, and it's like some guys are into comedy shit, and then there's other guys that want to see the more hardcore type of fighting. I think it's one of the big things that happened is that the generation before, we all got old at the same time, so there weren't enough guys to work with the young guys. We can sit and talk. I can give you my theories on what you should do. You should do this, or maybe you should try this, but until you actually get in the ring and actually do it, it doesn't actually translate a lot of the times. And then you also have many people that they're on the internet. Well, these guys on the internet sound pretty fucking good. It's like, okay, well, you can listen to them, or you can listen to somebody who has been there and done it. So I think you can't help it. But there was just not enough merging of the young and new talent. Like when we had Stone Cold, Rock, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, all these guys, we were working together and we were making money and we were drawing, and then we kind of just aged out. I think there for a long time, and then just left all these young guys to learn with more young guys, and the product changed. The PC training center is helping. We got Triple H, a great wrestler. He heads that whole thing, and he's trying to get some toothpaste back in the tube, and yeah, and then it goes there. So, like I said, of course, he also doubled down on that, because, like I said, you see, he said, I wasn't bashing our talent. That's when he doubled down. I wasn't bashing our talent. Our talent is extraordinary. What they're physically able to do, I can imagine doing that back in the day. I have a lot of respect for our roster. I came from a different time period. My period was tough back then. Because like I said, it's not like he was saying before that you had to carry around guns and knives. That's not what he meant. And definitely, I feel like it's what's going to it's very telling today when it comes to the work ethic, when it comes to just the overall attitude today, which he was referring to. And they can't even do the shit that the trend now is just the wrestling, and people they just all they want to do is just wrestle. They can't even do that right. You have a few people that can, but most of the time these wrestlers, they don't even know how to wrestle. They said, my point, it was tough back then. I remember when Triple H first came in and he was shocked that I had black electrical tape on my boots. It was just a different time. We didn't have trainers on the road. If you had torn gear, you either wore it torn or you tried to fix it yourself. I'm so proud of the evolution of our business. The industry has come so far. It's a sign of success and how far we've come. And yeah, that's pretty much it right there. But yeah, but like I said, he said it, because like I said, he was taken out of context as usual, like society likes to does, especially nowadays. But he said the same thing that Shawn has said right here. He just said it in a more no bullshit manner. He said that back then, he basically said that back then men were men. And now, obviously myself, I'm not saying that either that yeah, I'm not saying which also like I'm not saying that the guys and gals have to or anybody. I'm not saying that, or I don't think any, him and Shawn either, that they have to go through that dangerous atmosphere to prove that they can handle themselves. That they need guns and knives. Like definitely not the shit I'm trying to put across or say that they should do that. Because don't think like myself too. I don't think anybody should have to go through that. Not at all. Regardless if I brought it up when this topic was hot at the time. When it first came out, when Undertaker first came out and had made that stance. And I don't change my opinion on that. By the way, Shawn is like I don't know, but it just seems like to me by the way Shawn is going about this. I'm not trying to exaggerate anything, but like, are there wrestlers back there? Are they actually complaining about traveling? Like, I don't know. Is that a thing that goes around? Is that really a thing? Like, is the NXT wrestlers complaining about traveling? Because he mentioned that if they complain to him about traveling to Florida, he mentioned that. Like, what? Like, are they complaining about traveling in their home state as is? I'm not really sure about that because, if you got motherfuckers back there that's actually moaning and groaning, like, Shawn, please, I don't want to travel anymore. It's damaging my state of mind. I mean, because NXT. And it's not like I'm just saying this. Yeah, like you can even do research on this itself. Like, which I'm pretty sure WWE, unlike WWE, which is that home base overall is just being in to Stamford, Connecticut. Yeah, NXT. I even looked it up right now. Yeah, NXT's home base, the Performance Center, as well is located in Florida, right in Florida. It's right in the smack middle of Florida. Like, that's not even about manhood. That's just fucking, that's just whiny, bratty laziness. That's fucking entitlement is what it is. That's what it is. Like, what's going on here? Like, who cares about driving around, especially when you gotta make ends meet? Like, are they really in a pool of tears about touring? That's a part of their job that comes with the business. Are you inside the state? They're already in that the home base is in a couple of times a year. You gotta be kidding me, man. That can't be. Like, I don't know if I can believe that. That's like I said, that's just straight up laziness. Y'all can let me know about that. Tell me about it. You can look on Twitter, and you look in social media in general. And it's without a doubt that they're gonna take, what they're saying out of context and label it as offensive or not even offensive. You can go down the line because that's what it's really about nowadays. I talk about it on a daily basis, being that the politics is the downfall of mainstream pop culture. The further downfall of professional wrestling. You can just have a take in regards to your political beliefs. And if it doesn't fall in line, which you ever know, like the left or the right, progressive, liberal, whatever that shit is. Like I said, I know, of course, I know the state of being political. I just don't follow politics because it just pisses me off. I never have been, but which people can try to people can try. Y'all can try. People out there too. They can try to play these foolish games as much as they want to. You can try to play a dumb fuck. You can play them with a dumb fuck all you want, but you can't play them with me. The mainstream right now, being also with wrestling, like it's conquered right now by whoever, whether it's the liberals or the progressives, whoever. It's politically the mainstream right now in regards to entertainment is dominated right now by just the political agenda overall. If it wasn't already. If you go against that belief, even if it stems from a religious perspective, 9 times out of 10, usually how that goes, but, people just simply don't want to be on board with your delusional nonsense, and, that's what it is. y'all pretty much get the picture. Yeah, you get exiled. You pull for a political candidate and they have those particular reefs. You get demonized for that. You even go as far as to, because that's what's, because I think I caught that same thing. Remember with the whole thing with Charlotte? And I don't know whoever was Charlotte or whoever in general. They liked a tweet, but yeah, and they like came out the whole thing about I don't know what it was, but yeah, you do. If you even go as far to like as a comment, you don't even have to make the comment. Yeah, but you can like the comment of that Inukia's position that doesn't conflate with your own political beliefs. And it's not even the fans. So yeah, don't get that messed up, because the fans do get pussy and childish. But the ones who are going Kaioken times 100, like it's not the fans that's doing it. It's the ones who are going Kaioken times 100 are the people backstage, currently like in the business right now. The Ricochets, then you got the Mustafa Ali's, the Taminas. Like, these are the martyrs that's pushing this message. You got Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch taking pictures in front of BLM signs, like as if they're actually helping the cause. Like all you're doing is just promoting the scam organizations, making millions of dollars, whether it's from you or other pool souls who don't know what they're actually doing. I think it was also that whole like New Day took that whole like knee and they were in for BLM. Like that also was laughable too, but that's that's not doing a damn thing. And then when people say like that is a bunch of nonsense, that you're like and then people can say that that's a bunch of nonsense, that you're helping pandering out there. They come at you, and then the wrestlers come with that, they run with it. It's like, for damn sure, like, you're soft. And I don't know, I'm starting to hear this go around. I don't know who actually said it, but I hear it comes from Dutch. Yeah, I think I hear it coming from Dutch Mantel, and I like this quote. Yeah, I definitely do believe it. Yeah, it definitely rings true today. And I think he said it like, I liked it better when the Marks weren't in the ring and they were actually in the crowd. And yeah, like, shout out to him also. Yeah, like, I actually preferred it where the Marks weren't in the business, they weren't in the ring like we see now. And I hear the good argument all the time that, I hear that also. And when it comes to professional wrestling, I mean, it does play a part in general, whether we talk about wrestling, entertainment, and like I just said. But I hear all the time that social media and Twitter is the foundation to why we call these wrestlers soft, because it's not as if they didn't always have these beliefs. Everybody, it's always been like this regardless. Everybody has always had this mindset of what we're talking about now, whether it's political, being as political, but there just was never a platform. Yeah, there just was never a platform or a beacon as big that we have today. Like, it wasn't as big back in those older times like it is now. To promote your feelings on social media. Yeah, and I can land on y'all right now, for damn sure that, there's a group of mentally ill psychotics who have these variety of beliefs, and they never had this platform. And you can emotionally appeal to certain people that you want to with this mental illness. They also carry it as well. And, virtual signaling, being an SJW, and exactly what it is. These things, the things that these people believe in, I would say, like, I would just say, like, not that, of course, just, I would say, it's more right to say a percentage of it is mostly just, deluded mental illness, generations before like it is now. And this has been around. Of course, it's not a new thing, like, it's people don't get that, but people, like, because they think it's because it's in their generation. They think, oh, it's crazy, what's going on, it's just what's going, the world is ending, what's happening to everybody, when it's always been this way. You just got to do your research. It's always been around before that, which generation we're talking about, whichever generation we're talking about. You know, the medieval times, BC. You know, the Roman times, whichever. Like, you know, we're not living in a new world. You know, it's just a new chapter. You know, you promote this message, and then the wrestlers see it, and then, you know, they all run with it. You know, it's based off of social media, not the internet. I wouldn't say, yeah, not, of course, just social media. You know, it's all about having an access to a beacon, and, you know, they get that, like I said, that dopamine effect. That dopamine effect, that's the new drug. That's the new drug of what virtual signaling and what these wrestlers do on social media. That they cry and bitch on social media. That's the dopamine effect. That's their dopamine effect and their new way to get over. You know, virtual signaling and the same type of accessible virtual signaling. You know, it's a new way. It's just a new way for sad saps to feel validated, to feel a part of something that's not natural, and to have others notice it, and they want it, and they need to be validated as well. Which in turn, you know, and you know, that's where that all comes from. When you look at it that way, that the main crux of the argument right there, and then you use that for the most part. You want to cultivate an environment that doesn't really look at that at all. You know, the whole sexist, you're sexist if you look at a woman the wrong way, or you're racist. You know, nothing has a real meaning anymore. You know, it's just blatantly shouted out as if that person actually knows what that term was brought up on. You know, obviously there's some things that you don't want. Of course, like I just said too, obviously there's some things in pro wrestling that back in the days or whichever era that, you know, that was downright fucking awful, criminal. You know, like the British Bulldogs of the world giving steroids to a fucking dog. I still can't believe that. I can't believe that even actually happened. Or, you know, Randy Orton's of the world going around and shitting in people's bags. Then you have like the fucking cliques of the world, you know, like just damn near 24/7, like fucking with you, like pushing you to get fired, pushing you to get buried. It's like, yeah, like I don't consider that. That's not, yeah, for sure. That's not manly or funny at all. That's just like. That's just, yeah, straight up ignorant and inhumane, and for sure anybody who does that shit should be kicked the fuck out or away, for sure. Like, I absolutely don't think the Undertaker was referring to that as far as the wrestlers being soft, like the whole like chaotic, those type of environment, like as far as like being soft. But you know, the mark fans today, the mark wrestlers will misinterpret that again, of course, like they usually do, and spin it the way they want to. You know, he was referring to men more so to the actual stature of how men should carry themselves and act like they have balls, you know, and testosterone in their body. You know, that is a problem, though. No doubt about that. You know, Houston, we have a problem for which we need to address and fix. You know, it's why you see so many beta males and them lacking those T's within the wrestling business today. The lack of muscular structure, presentation, and how smaller they're getting. Like a Kevin Owens, you know, not wanting to work out or give a damn how they perform in the ring. Or you know, a Keith Lee too, that they don't have to work out or train daily to make sure they perform the correct way. You know, it's why you have to outright, yeah, damn near have to, you know, mostly have to show dominance and say, hey, you don't have to be a big man to be dominant in the business. Like, you don't believe me? Like, you know, let's bring up this crazy, like, you know, what never happened in the real life scenario. And you know, you have some like an MJF. You have someone like an MJF and Adam Cole going out and beating somebody like a Big Cass and a Brian Cage, knowing good and damn well that each and one of both of them by themselves could be beaten within an inch of their lives. You know, in reality, like for real. Like, I think, you know, having to bring up the softness in professional wrestling has to be attested for. Like, you don't have to bring the environment back Like I said, was like we're saying today. Like they're not saying that, and I'm not saying that. You don't have to bring that type of environment back to as far as like the wild things, the wild shit they were doing back then. Because even like some of the wrestlers today, I hear it all the time too. And I'm pretty sure y'all do. You know, not even the wrestlers that, even some of the wrestlers back then wouldn't approve of the shit that they had to go through in those times that they had to go through with that. You hear it all the time in these interviews. They just kept their mouths shut about it when they were coming up. But to sit back and say, I mean, we shouldn't care so much about the wrestlers, sitting in the back playing video games all day and then having, something in regards to helping out their match and getting over with the audience, having to go over the Street Fighter spots, the Smash Bros spots, and then you're conflating that all, which what it looks like. You don't want to tour in a specific state. Like you create a professional wrestling to where you're creating professional wrestling to where it's now where it's impossible to carry yourself as a legitimate man, actually physically looking man, because not a beta male little boy who wants to play pretend and play patty cake, but an actual man, a man that's supposed to carry themselves, dominate, confident, actually showing, hey, look at me and what you should be going towards as far as to how I look at it from a health standpoint, and that's how you carry yourself, hard body structure as to what carries a man, and that bleeds down. So little by little you see everybody's going to do things more differently, and then you start to lose a little bit of that masculinity as time goes on. But then there's no outright rejection as to where you see it now, because the outright rejection is not creating a new foundation, a new fundamental for what it is perceived to be a man, which is this bullshit playing video games backstage and playing out those spots from the video games. Because now, as I mentioned early on, little by little that masculinity dies, and then what little masculinity you already just tore down to create a new structure, that's now going to be the new template, and that next, that's next going to start to fade away. And then we get to a point to where you have wrestlers that don't even want to fucking tour, that's been there, that's a part of the job since day one. Unreal. Wrestlers complaining about what comes with the business. They have access to a performance center at any time to be treated like a king and queen. You don't need to go to a gym, or I don't know, regardless if you're on the main roster, but as far as the rookies, you don't have to go to a local gym. Or I don't know, or I mean, if you got it like that, you can have your own gym. You have everything handed to you. That's a luxury. Having to have that. Yeah, they didn't have that back when wrestling was coming up, back in the golden era or the attitude era. They didn't have those that was being concerted. That's a blessing you should be thankful for. You get days off. Wrestlers get days off now and guaranteed contracts. There's no, if you're a Mick Foley who was coming up, you had to got to go around like a fucking hobo and scratch and claw for the things you want. Save money to get there's none of that no more. You don't have to live like that more. You got a legit base contract to be afforded to, even if you're a rookie. You treated like an actual fucking employee, a professional wrestler, not carrying yourself like a man. And it does reflect onto the business, onto wrestlers alike right now, that the business is on a steadily declined downtrend. And look at that, the business is so comfortable, everybody's so easily spoon fed that you don't even have to be a draw anymore, because you can earn that everything back that in the contract that you have. Because at the end of the day, between the stock exchange and the lucrative deals with TV dying now, I mean, you have these screenwriters on strike, which makes professional wrestling even more lucrative. Like, because who the fuck really needs screenwriters? You know, they may say that during the business to get an Emmy or a Golden Globe, that is, but you know, you don't really need a creative direction, a creative or screenwriters. Nah. Like especially when it comes to WWE, you don't have to really pay for that shit. You know, it's just paying for the production, what they need, the production. You know, if you got it like that, you know, everything that's like is handed to this generation of wrestlers, everything handed to this generation in general, because that's what it is to most part. When an Undertaker, Bret Hart, Hulk Hogan, Brock Lesnar, and now a Shawn Michaels, what they mean in being soft is not having to carry around a gun or a knife, but acting like you got actual nuts between your legs, hair on your chest, carrying yourself like in general like an actual man, and hopefully in the correct way influence the future. Because if men aren't there to influence the future and it's feminized, like how they want to virtue signal today, like there's a reason to why men were built in a position to lead, to dominate, and women were put in a position to be compassionate and emotional. You know, that wasn't man constructive or whoever. It's always been a part of, yeah, like there are roles played, being that, you know, when it comes to the man and the woman, and they balance each other out. But when you try to vice versa those roles, and even try to basically erase one role, you get what you get today. And that's not helping anything. It's making shit worse, and it's turning humanity into what it's not. Destroying, being emotionally destructive. Like, yeah, you're not doing your future kids or any future generation for that matter any good. You know, shit. Who even wants kids nowadays? So, you know, I mean, if y'all want to add to this, y'all can. You know, of course, there's the comment section. I mean, yeah, don't take what I'm saying out of context. You can clearly hear what I'm saying. Don't make this into something you want to make it. Address the shit that was said in the video. Enjoy yourself, Cosmos. I'm gonna see y'all very much later. Stay blessed.